Hey guys, it's Robbie here, and this is Frecky Fit Wolf. It's Sunday, so that means it's time for my weekly weigh-in. But also, it's Sunday, the week of Halloween. So, in case you can't notice by my surroundings, I'm celebrating a little bit. Obviously, my back there is not that different, and my bed right here, not made because there's a dog sleeping on it. So, I haven't made it yet, so apologies for that. Please excuse me. But as well as with the new overlay here, I also have a new intro just for this week, and I'm kind of in love with it. Check it out. Isn't that fun? I think that's fun. Especially because it doesn't take that long to do, so I was really happy with that. But yeah, so anyway, it's officially Halloween week, and I want to talk about previous week before I talk about the upcoming week, because this week has been a complicated week. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on, but mostly very good. We did the Frugal Foodie Fridays this week, which was a ton of fun and a lot more into my actual budget, and it really makes me want to do more videos for more affordable, more frugal food options, because a lot of times when we talk about losing weight and I see the different, grocery hauls and things like that, a lot of them are very expensive, and that's not something that everybody can do. I know it's not something that I can do, but I know how to eat cheap, and I know how to lose weight cheap. I mean, I lost that 140 pounds before without spending a ton of money, without it being all just ramen noodles like I've joked about before, and I can do that again. I've been doing that again, besides when I cook something for Foodie Fridays that's a little bit more costly. But typically I can do it a lot cheaper. So I do plan on doing more videos that give you those type of options, because I feel like that's something we all could use. This week was a lot of fun. I didn't win this week because Lisa, as always, is amazing and made something really delicious looking and really pretty. Mine was very delicious, but it wasn't that pretty. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We went live on Friday night with that, and that was a very fun live. We did get kind of emotional, and we talked about some subjects that neither one of us were really prepared to talk about. So, it wasn't planned, and so some things didn't go exactly how either one of us necessarily wanted. I feel like most of it is relatable, but as somebody commented on mine, and I feel like there's probably a few others, some of it was a little too relatable and maybe a little triggering. So I do apologize for that. Some of those issues I do want to talk about again, but those will be planned videos where, one, I think about how things are worded, and two, the title will tell you what's going to be discussed, so that if it is something that you're like, I can't watch something like that, feel free not to. But I'm going to word them in ways that aren't quite so impactful, because, yeah, Friday night got a little intense. But yeah, so that was all fun, though. Like, even the person that did comment and say they had to leave early, she did say, it was still a lot of fun. And like I said, I feel like there were other people that felt that way. But yeah. So that was that. And then last night, trivia night, I posted about this in my Facebook group yesterday, which, if you haven't joined, there's a link in the description box below. I do have a Facebook group. It's growing, and it's been a lot of fun, very supportive, a lot of good ideas popping up in there, and a great place to ask questions, because even if it's something that I don't know, one, I can easily find out. I have a ton of resources at my disposal, a ton of friends that know so much, and then also just other people that are in the group know a lot. So if you haven't joined it yet, please join it. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, so there's that. But what I was going to say was, I talked about my trivia night in there, and that I was going to talk about it today, because it was a ton of fun. We didn't win. I mean, I was actually happy that I would know 3 things, and I did. So that was cool. Usually, you get to the nerdy topics, that's where I shine. So there were some Harry Potter questions I knew. There was one that involved the Dresden Files, which I was super excited. It's like one of my favorite book series, and it was a television series. I recommend the books more. But so I was super excited about that. And then I got really upset because there was a question about street names and stuff, and one was about Sherlock, and I could not remember the street address. I kept thinking it's 212 Baker Street, I think. And of course, after the pressure's gone, it's 221. So luckily, since I said I'm not 100% certain, I'm feeling like it's 212. We used a mulligan, so we still got that question right, so it was fine. But I was very disgruntled as a nerd, where I'm I know his freaking address. It's popular. I have a postcard somewhere in here that has the address. It's a street sign with that on there, 221B Baker Street. But anyway, we didn't win, but it was still a lot of fun. They raised a lot of money. They also had a 50-50 raffle. Didn't win. And I was actually, until I volunteered, I was pleasantly surprised that, because they had an option where they could wrap around you, and for $20, you get as many tickets that wrap around you. Normally, at other ones, they go from your shoulder down or your armpit down, and I get called on by numerous people at the table because I'm tall. But I when they were saying wrap around, I'm I'm the only fat guy here. They all want to wrap around me. But they didn't. I did volunteer for one person. I'm hey, because we went in halfsies. I was just use me. I'm enjoy this while I can, because it's not going to be very long that you can get that many tickets wrapped around me. So let's try it. We didn't win, but it was actually this really, really sweet older lady in a wheelchair that was all decked out in bright colors and stuff. She ended up winning, and it was actually super cute. I wish I pulled out my phone and recorded, because she was all excited, and the guy with the microphone ended up taking her and running her around the whole room, congratulating her and stuff. It was a ton of fun. But the other thing where I was worried about, which I'm sure we all have been in these situations where there's going to be a bunch of food and you don't know what to do. You don't know what food's going to be there. It's very hard. Everything before I put it in my mouth, or before I order it, if I'm going out, I know how many points it is. I look it up. But at these situations, people are bringing stuff. They welcomed outside food. You don't know what people are bringing. So I did my part by bringing a vegetable tray. So I was worst case scenario, I can have the vegetables. Those are all 0 points. There was a dip, but I chose not to use the dip. And then I also brought pop chips. I brought the bag home just so that I could show you guys. If you've never had these are super, super good. And on my plan, they're super low in points. I have not looked up for freestyle yet. Should have done that before coming on here. But for my plan, let me get over to it to yesterday, Saturday. I had 2 servings. Did I do it better later? No. Okay, so let me just change this real quick. For 2 servings, it's 7 points. But for 1 serving, which is 18 chips, so you get a lot of chips for that, it is only 3 bites. 3 points for 18. And these chips are pretty big. I mean, there's just crumbles down at the bottom of the bag because I wasn't the only one eating them. I didn't eat the whole bag myself. But so I had that, and then luckily a friend of mine that was there, he brought Chex Mix in single serving sizes. So I was able to have that, and I mean, those were 5 points on my plan. But still, I mean, I had a ton of points left at the end of the day because honestly, before that, I had a chicken wrap. So I was well prepared. I did that. I did have some pretzels, and somebody brought spiked seltzer, but it was only 0.6 points. So it was 1 point and I didn't even drink all of it because it was grapefruit, and I didn't realize I grabbed the grapefruit, and I'm not a fan of grapefruit. And I'm honestly not a fan of seltzer water. It bites, and I don't like it. And then other than that, I had carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, cherry tomatoes, and the dude brought some bananas. I took one home. And I'm gonna be eating that after this video. But so I did well. I ended the day with 10 points left, and I was 100 calories under my goal. So that was, I like to be closer to my actual points and to my actual goal. But considering all of that was there, because there was also cookies and other chips and meat and cheese and all these things that, I'm not good at eyeballing. So I chose not to. Then the kicker, and this part was hard. There was a round where they gave you a bag and you didn't know what was in it until you opened it. But the whole round was there were 10 Pop-Tarts in there, and we had to write down what the different flavors were. And obviously the easiest way to do that is by eating them. I behaved. I did not. I was like, I don't even know how to track that. And at this point, we can't pull out our phones because, during trivia, obviously, phone has the internet. It can give away all the information. So I can't look it up, be like, okay, Pop-Tart, how many calories, how many points, whatever. I haven't had Pop-Tarts in I don't know how many years. So it's not knowledge that's in my head. I would need the app in order to tell me. For those of you that don't know, I do use iTrack Bites to track my points because I am doing an older Weight Watcher plan called Points Plus. On iTrack Bites, it's called Carb Conscious. So I use that to track everything, especially stuff that I don't know, obviously. Can't hold on to everything up there. Can't hold on to a lot of things up there. But anyway, so I was going by smell. I was like, that smells like such and such. And then be like, you taste it. That smells like such and such. You taste it. And luckily they all were all about, none of them were on a diet. None of them cared. So they were totally fine with it. And I think we got all of them right that round. But, obviously people, they were just taking off little bites. And, inner fatty wants to be like, I want to eat all of them. Especially there was one, I thought it was hot cocoa, but that wasn't even an option. Because they did give us a card that you circle which ones are there. But it was like hot fudge sundae. I did not know they had all of these flavors for Pop-Tarts, y'all. Like, I want to look them up and see what points they are, but I kind of want to try some of these because holy cow. But I was like, guys, tomorrow's my weigh-in. I'm not going overboard. I'm behaving. And so I did well. Like I said, I stayed within my points, stayed within my calories, all went well. And I've talked for 12 minutes already, so let's get moving on. So my actual weigh-in happened this morning. Now, let me boom. So let me bring that down actually. Starting weight, for those of you that don't know, I started at 376.8 and now I'm at 340. So this week I did gain 0.2 pounds, but I'm down 36.8 total. I'm still proud of my loss. And that I'm honestly, I just listed and showed what I had last night. Chex Mix and the pop, that was my dinner. Like literally because I had 2 servings of the chip. Well, 3 because there was another flavor also. So 3 servings of those chips. That was a lot of sodium. And I do know my chicken wrap that I get in the mornings a lot of the time, that thing is like 1,200 milligrams of sodium. So normally when I have that, I try to counteract it the rest of the day because it adds up really quick. But so I am not 100% mad at that total there because I had a lot of sodium last night. I feel like, don't know if it's true, but I do feel like this is more of a sodium gain than an actual true weight loss. So next week when I do my weigh-in, it will be a little bit more accurate. That's the only thing that can be bad about doing weigh-ins on Sundays is because if you happen to all of a sudden get a social life or have something to do on a Saturday night, normally I don't, but when I do, I weigh in the next morning, so it can make it a little bit trickier. But like I said, I'm not upset about that because I know I behaved all week. And with a lot of emotional things that happened this week, I behaved. So even though the scale isn't showing it this morning, I had a lot of non-scale victories because there were a lot of things that happened this week that old me would have been like, I want to eat pizza. I want to grab a bag of chips. I want to eat all the horrible, horrible things that I can have. Can't have. Well, I can have, but you know what I mean. I want to eat it all. And I did not. I behaved. I am very, very, very proud of that. And that's one thing that you guys need to remember. If you do not have a week that is spectacular, that is exactly the way you thought it would go, but you behaved food-wise, it's okay. Like, that alone is a victory. The fact that you did not go overboard or overindulge or anything like that is a huge victory. So celebrate it. There was somebody in my Facebook group. She had just started. She started 3 weeks ago. The very first week, she lost 5 pounds, which, as we all know, when you first start, it falls off super quick because there's a lot of water weight and all this other stuff that comes off anytime you start a diet. The second week, lost 5 pounds. It was like, oh, well, that's great. So awesome. And then this week, because she had such high success the first 2 weeks, she was like, I only lost 0.4 pounds and I don't know. She was upset, obviously. And it was kind of a shocker, especially because she's still learning Weight Watchers. And those weekly points always confuse people. They are there for you to eat. I always eat mine. And besides, I think the occasional week here or there where I have a tiny gain or I barely lose, I eat those points, and then the next week I could lose more and I still eat those weekly points. That doesn't change. It's just the way your body works sometimes. And so, I was trying to encourage her that, one, you're allowed to have them. That's why they're there, because there are going to be times and events and things where, your daily points aren't enough. And so that's why they have those as backup. Or like I do, every day, every Sunday on weigh-in day, I make it a treat day, a cheat day, a treat day, whatever you want to call it, where I use my daily and all my weeklies. Because luckily at the point I am at, I get a lot of daily points. I'm using 55. And they actually want me to have more, but I cut that down. Sorry, my doggy is being distracting. So that's plenty for me in a day. So I don't need to save those weeklies for throughout the week. And plus, then I just kind of behave all week. But, you guys can use it however you want. They are there to be used. They would not have them in the plan if you weren't supposed to use them. All the times in all the groups that I see so many people like, oh, you shouldn't eat your weeklies, right? Like, why would they have them if you weren't supposed to have them? Don't you think they would just not put it in if you weren't allowed to have them? It's okay to have them. So yeah, sorry, a little rant there, but either way, and I'm not even sure, because she is a friend on my Facebook that joined, so I'm not sure if she watches these videos, but if she does, just give a little shout out of encouragement to her, because you still lost half a pound. That is great. There are plenty of people that every single week, they only lose half a pound, but they lose a half a pound every week, and it adds up, and they get closer to their goal over time. So definitely, I feel you should be proud of that. I feel she should be proud of that. And I know so many of you totally understand and would tell her to be proud of that. So if you feel that way, comment down below. Let her know. And so as far as mini goals, a little bit higher than last week because of that 0.2 pound gain, but very similar. So if you don't know, my first mini goal over here is to get to 336.8, which will be a 40-pound loss for me. So I only have 3.2 pounds to go, and I'm there. I'm super, super excited about that. I'm hoping to get there within the next 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes. And then Dragon Con. Not going to give a big spiel every single week, but I do have a lot of new people. Dragon Con, in case you can't tell by my surroundings, I am a huge nerd. I love things like Doctor Who and Charmed and Buffy and Xena Warrior Princess and Harry Potter over here. I love all of the nerdy things. And so Dragon Con is the largest fan-run convention that exists, and it is in Atlanta every year, Labor Day weekend, and I'm going for the first time ever. 84,000 people go to this thing, guys. And I'm going finally. So I have a goal to get to 263 pounds. So I have 77 more pounds to go to get there. And that will be a good hunk of weight off so that while I'm walking around, because when you're at a convention, if you're not nerdy and you have never been to a Comic-Con or any kind of con, you're walking nonstop. You don't stop moving from 10 in the morning when it opens. And if you go to the after parties until 3 o'clock in the morning, you don't stop moving. You go to bed and you start it the next day. So, and this is huge because it's over 5 hotels. So that's why I really, really want to get in shape for this. And I'm well on my way because, like I said, I'm down, what was it? I just lost it. I am down 36.8 pounds and I have 77 more to go and I have until Labor Day. I think it's going to work. But yeah, so that was this week. That was this week's weigh-in. And I do want to point out, I said it But there are going to be weeks that are not fantastic, where you're like, oh, I gained 0.2 pounds, or I only lost 0.4. First of all, take the word only out. You lost 0.4 pounds. I gained, there you can use the only 0.2 pounds. With everything that happened this week, I very well could have justified it to myself, but like, you know what? I am extremely upset. It's 1 week. I am going to eat this. I am going to do that. I'm not going to go on a walk. I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to play video games. I'm going to just whatever. And I didn't. So all of those things are non-scale victories that you need to celebrate. Speaking of walking, I do want to say, after I stepped on the scale this morning, especially with it being Sunday where I can have more, I could have, because there were still some bags of Chex Mix in there and another bag of chips, I could have been like, okay, track that, and then I'm just going to chow down on these. Instead, I put on my jeans, I laced up my shoes, and I went and walked for an hour. Now I feel so much better because of that. And I wasn't even upset about gaining. Honestly, like, because as I was making those decisions to have all the salty foods, and I can feel I'm really dehydrated. I mean, I don't know if you can tell my lips. Really dehydrated. Even my scale, it told me. Hold on. Body water. I am at 42.7% body water, which is considered low. I don't know what the goals are or anything like that. I didn't even know it told all this until a few minutes before I was hitting record. But it tells, if you guys can see that. Let me get her, whoops. Let me get her off there. But all sorts of information. Body fat, BMI, body fat percentage, your weight, fat-free body weight, visceral fat, skeletal muscle mass, all this kind of information. And so 42%, that means I am low on water. So I need to drink more of it. And especially that is one thing, because like Saturdays I work, and at work is the only time I allow myself to have diet soda. And so I did. And then I immediately went to the trivia night. I had like no water yesterday. I had one bottle at work. I did take one out of the fridge, drink that. But at trivia night, I had a Rockstar energy drink, and then I had that sparkling water, and I barely drank any of it. And I forgot, I did have a cup of water because they had servers coming around, and it was cool because everything was free, but even if you tip, that goes to the charity. So that was really cool. But I had 2 things of water yesterday. That's another factor that we have to pay attention to. So if you haven't yet, please please comment, please subscribe, and hit that little bell so you know when I post videos. Please share your stories with me. I love offering support. I love getting the support from you guys. And I love hearing the updates. How your weigh-in went this week, let me know. All of that stuff. I love the interactions and the community that we have built with YouTube. It's amazing. And as I said before, join my Facebook group. You can interact even more. It's really, really helpful. So yeah, so until Tuesday, when I do another video, I'll talk to you guys later.